Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Picture Shows and Petticoats. It's Elizabeth. I'm here with Misty again, and this is episode 45 of our show, which is appropriate because we are now making our way into the 45.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Yeah.
Dramatically happen here.
Yeah. We're just building up to that, and we're discussing part 5 of Dragonfly and Amber, and this is one of my favorite sections of the book, which I don't know, maybe is, I don't know, I would like to know if other people enjoy it that much, because it's a little bit different from everything else we usually get, because it's like
coming home and you're getting back into the hang of things and building a routine kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's just their quiet, everyday living, and you get to hear about, the daily tasks, and I love that. Everything's calm in this section, so there's not a lot of drama, but it's fun. I like it, and the slowness allows for some, I don't know, like internal, you learn more about the characters.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and I love it. It's just great. How did you like this section?
I just want more Jenny.
I know, I love Jenny so much. I forgot why I loved her so much, and this part reminded me.
Yeah.
Jenny's a reader.
Yes, I know. I was very excited about that because I'm like, that's one of my words for this year's read. So I was like, oh, reading, yay.
Yes, yay. Ooh. Yeah, I love that. I love readers. I don't know. I identify with Jenny. I like her. I like she's spunky. Like no one gets her down. I love her relationship with Ian too. They complement each other so well.
For sure.
I love watching the way that they work together, and just how she knows, like, well, we'll get to it, but like the way when she approaches Jamie about dealing with things when they're about to have to, go off with all the men. Yeah.
Yep. Crazy stuff.
Yeah. So, the description of this section is probably the shortest because it just lacks action, but I don't think that makes it a bad part. And I thought that there were some parts of this that you could maybe shed a little light on. I probably should have asked you about it long before so that you could maybe have notes on this. But one of the big things in this section, and we're just going to jump around because there's not, other than like the end event of this section, there's nothing that's, you're not going to spoil anything by talking about anything. But one of the big parts is the planting the potato crop.
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting. And okay, I don't know about potato vines, but they kept talking about vines, and I kept thinking, is she talking about sweet potato vines? Because the regular potatoes, they don't vine. They're like little short, like foot tall, kind of little shrubby things.
Right.
So I was really kind of like, it's not vining unless they've got completely different potatoes going on here.
Right.
So I think maybe, she probably wrote this a long time ago, so maybe she got her descriptions a little off there, but.
Well, what year is this one? I mean,
when it was written?
Publication year, yeah.
I got it in my book here. Let me see if I can find that out. 93 is the mass market edition. So, okay. Oh, 92 is the original. The mass market is 93. So it's, 23 years old.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be the first time that we ran into a detail that wasn't exactly correct.
Right, of course.
But I would kind of be interested to know what sort of potato would have been available at the time. Like, what's the word for it? A
Like
cultivar?
variety.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I don't know like how developed some of those are. I mean, I know kind of common one is like Kennebec, but Kennebec a name like of a river in Maine. So I think that might be an American cultivar. So it sounds more new. So I'm sure there's some sort of older, and if he's getting them from, I mean, these things have to have been definitely relatively new from across, because potatoes are from South America. So
Okay, I was going to ask you, where are potatoes from?
yeah,
I
they're
don't
from
know.
South America. I don't know about Latin America, but they're definitely like South American. So,
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So they had to come from a boat somewhere.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to me that they had never seen potatoes before. That I guess Jamie's first exposure to them had been in France.
Right. Yeah, and Claire
Because I think
obviously because she's
right because she's from the future and has had potatoes.
right.
I don't know. I think it's just because I think of it as such a staple. So just to know that it wasn't so available then, but
Well, I mean, the Irish, because they mentioned the Irish having them, so the Irish already had them for a while. It seems
okay.
like so. But I don't know what. I didn't go googling that, but
Yeah.
still probably relatively unknown.
Yeah. Well, so this whole thing begins. They've returned to Lollybrock with it's Claire and Jamie. Murtaugh is there as well, though he
Mm-hmm.
really slips into the background in this section. Just thinking about,
Yeah.
just kind of just disappears. um, and Fergus is there with them because he's that's really all he has, and so they take him. So now is it while they're there that Claire receives these, or is it before they've left France? Because Claire has all this stuff from Master Raymond,
Right.
herbs and
I'm not
crystals
sure.
and stones,
Right.
and she's like, yeah, rubbing them around in her pocket or something. She has a hold of them.
Yeah, she keeps some of them, I think, and then she keeps some of them in her medicine bag. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Well, so once they get there, she kind of steps back into her role, doctoring people, and
mm-hmm.
um, they settle into a daily life. Fergus starts getting into trouble because he just does that. I think
It's
about
like a
what a strange shift that would be for him because he grew up on the streets of Paris and now he's out in the middle of the country in Scotland. He has far less
yeah.
to, he must be like just itching to do things.
Well, I can see him. I mean, we saw in the last section where he was getting into fights with, other stable boys and things like that. So I
Right.
could see him kind of roughhousing and definitely becoming a country boy. He seems the
Now,
type.
the ages of Ian and Jenny's children at this time, who do you know who they have? Like just
Yeah, so they have three at this point. They have, I think, they have
okay.
young Jamie, who's I think like 4 or 5.
Okay.
Then they have the one she had the year before. So like before when they arrived back, like I think it said
Maggie. She's a year
Maggie's
old.
like almost a year old. She's like 10
Okay.
months, like not even. So it kind of gives you some time frame, like, oh, all this stuff in Paris happened within a very short time span.
Mm-hmm.
And then but she's already pregnant again. So like she got knocked up like a couple months after.
Yeah.
So and so it's Catherine Mary or Kitty, I think they said at one point.
Is the third one born, right?
Yes, right. So 3 little youngins.
One boy, 2 girls. Okay. All right. All right, that's good to know. I get confused because they never mind, I'm not going to say that. But
Yeah, and I was gonna say something too, but that goes into something else I'm reading right now. So
yeah. So they have all these kids around, and this is one of my favorite parts as well. Well, I'll wait till we get there, but um, they have a good potato harvest, so it worked. The vines didn't
yes.
rot.
Yeah, and Claire is kind of nervous. She's like, I hope I didn't give him bad advice.
Yeah. I mean, because really the advice was only just like plant the potatoes. And I mean, because she doesn't really know outside of.
Yeah, vague historical reference, basically.
Right. Right. Hmm. Um, but that seems to be it's a success for them, and I guess a relief to Claire that this is maybe going to work because they're going to need to plant these potatoes again, and they're going to have to survive off of this because if the men are about to march off to war, um, I guess other harvests would be halted. Um, I mean, I
Well,
know.
I think she said, I think in the first book, like the barley crop was
Mhm.
gonna have like they're just gonna start having very bad problems with that in Scotland
Okay.
in general. So I think she was trying to mitigate that in advance. Like, yeah,
Is
you
it?
might keep some barley, but get some potatoes in there.
Yeah. Do you know what the cause of that is? Is it an insect or is it weather?
No, but I would suspect it's probably insects passing along some sort of pathogen that
Okay.
maybe, partly due to weather too. If it's too damp,
Right.
moldy stuff can happen. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm speaking a little
Well, I
guesswork
mean,
there.
I'm just thinking about I most of my I don't know a lot about this sort of thing. I mean, my family, the only crop they've ever really dealt with is like alfalfa, or whatever. But
Mhm.
I know farming is such a gamble.
Right.
And I mean, if you put all in on one thing and you've got, just think about like, I mean, you've read the Little House on the Prairie series, I'm guessing, right? Have you?
No.
No way. Okay. That wouldn't
No.
be a bad thing for you to read. You would fly right through
Okay.
that. And you only want to read
Yeah.
like maybe the first four. So,
Yeah.
um, but there's whole parts of that where, I mean, they lose an entire crop because of locusts. Um,
Right.
one summer.
Well, I have a vague understanding. You get a freeze or an early freeze or
Right.
a hailstorm, and then you're screwed.
Right. Exactly. Anyway, that's just an aside. But yeah, you should probably read, yeah, a couple
Right.
of those. Just a couple of them. Just like Little House on the Prairie and then By the Banks of Plum Creek. And I like, what is it, The Long Winter?
Yeah.
Basically all they do, they're like stuck in a house for like an entire like 3 months or something.
Yeah.
So, um, but everything's going along smoothly. Like the new niece is born, and then they get a lot of stuff in the mail. They have this really big delivery of letters and such.
Yeah.
And included is one from Jamie's uncle, Jared,
Hmm.
saying, I guess applauding his bravery or whatever. And Claire walks in on Jamie. She's heard him like cry out or something, and walks in there and sees the letter, reads the letter, doesn't understand what Jared is going on about, and then she sees the broadsheet.
Yeah.
Uh, so
It's like you want to go slap Charles Stewart up the head, like, you idiot. He just
this
seems like
guy,
he just like a teenage puberty boy or
hmm
a young man who's just still like, I don't know. He's an idiot.
well, I mean,
Idiot.
he's like this entitled, prince or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Not thinking of any repercussions at all.
Mm-mm. No. And I mean, you can just imagine because it's not like it was in certain times whenever the king would maybe fight alongside his men, or you
Oh,
were
right.
king because you were some sort of a warrior or whatever. This is
Right.
very different. He's lived a completely different lifestyle. Has he ever even been to Scotland?
I don't think so. The Scott and Sassenach, had a prelude to Dragonfly and Amber last week talking about the Jacobite rebellions.
Uh-huh.
I don't think he had, but I think his father had because of the previous
Right.
rebellions.
Well, because he was driven out or had to
Right.
seek asylum or something.
Right. But yeah, this dude, no.
No. And he's, it's just unfortunate that they didn't have somebody that could really rally them. It would be one thing if they had somebody that deserved their support. I hope they're not like offending anybody. Are there people like who are still like upset about this? I mean, it's been
Maybe
a few
someone
hundred
in
years.
Scotland.
I know, right? So I'm sorry, but this guy just seems like a tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can understand why even if you believed in having your own, monarch or whatever, you want your Scottish king, you just would really like to have somebody that you can get behind. Not to get political, but like right now in America, like
yeah.
even if you like want a certain thing, wouldn't it be nice if there was someone you could like, because you don't always have the choice of getting behind someone.
That believes everything you believe.
Exactly. And this guy most certainly does not represent all of these clans.
No.
He's not thinking in their best interests. He's going to walk them straight into their graves. So, and Claire knows that. And so there they are. They're going to have to do this. Jamie
And poor
knows.
Jamie, he's just like, he's probably like, okay, I'm safe and we think we staved this off. So I'm just going to have a nice quiet life with Claire. We're going to have a bunch of babies and it's going to be great. And then, I could just feel his like devastation. Like, what do I do now? How can I fix this? And sort of like hugging him and be like, all right, dude, why don't we just.
I know. It's so upsetting. Oh my gosh. It's so upsetting. Because the thing that really got to me, okay, this is my favorite part. This is what I was getting to. When he goes to get the baby from Jenny because the baby's crying in the middle of the night. I'm sorry, that's the best thing.
It is.
I mean, I don't have one, but is there anything more attractive than a guy like saying, "Let me take the baby"?
Yeah, and you sleep, dear. Okay, sounds great.
Oh gosh. And then him sitting out there and just talking to her.
There's some things Claire says here that I can't say much about yet because we haven't read more, but
I know, but that just breaks your heart.
Yes.
She's talking about him like knowing that she'll have the child of her heart and that he will have the chance to sing all these songs to her and all this stuff. Oh my gosh. It'll rip your heart out.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I can't say anything without just,
ruining other stuff.
Right. Well, but basically we already know.
We kind of know. Well,
yeah. Oh, here we know this much. We know that Claire has a daughter from the beginning.
Right.
We know that she has a daughter that belongs to Jamie, and we know that this daughter has no knowledge of Jamie. So there you go. Yeah. So yeah, it's just sad. But now they're going to march off, and Jamie, has said all of this about the women are not coming, the young men are not coming. He's laid down the law about who gets to accompany them, and it's, I guess, pretty. What am I looking for?
he's planning it so that, in case he knows he's walking into a catastrophe. So he's planning it so that Lallybroch and all their tenants will kind of survive afterwards, that, it's not going to be complete loss of men at their area.
Right. Well, and like that, what he's telling them they're going to do isn't normal, because normally the women would follow them into battle and cook for them.
Right.
And
right.
And you wouldn't normally leave the young men at home. I mean, we know about Jamie and Ian's time fighting. They fought when they were very young.
Mm-hmm.
So, but of course he knows that he can't keep Claire behind, and so he's not even going to try. She's going to follow him and probably be very valuable with her medical knowledge. So, and she has done this before. She's been a nurse during a war. So I'm getting nervous now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, something jumping around here. Mm-hmm. Something we also skipped over was them going out to town to get supplies, and he told Ian, what happened with him and Frank Randall, and Blackjack Randall, Randall. And the kind of interaction there. I mean, he was kind of forced to play his hand on that because of what happened, trying to beat him up in his sleep.
Right.
Kill him in his sleep. I don't know. I don't think there's a whole lot really to discuss there, but you can just see some.
No, well, because whenever they arrive back after all of that, and Ian's leg, he's broken his wooden leg because he stepped in a mole hole or whatever, and then but they're like, well, what happened to his face? Like,
right.
He's pretty roughed up, and I liked that, because what he says is that he didn't want there to be that he's always had Ian, and Ian has been there for everything and has really known everything that's happened with him. So he kind of wanted to share it with him, which had to have been very difficult, because I can't imagine something like that being at all normal.
Well, and it's men. I mean, it's different. I could see like Claire talking to Jenny later and being a completely different conversation, or Jenny talking to Claire, just
right.
It's just different. The men, yeah, it'll be rough.
But I'm glad Jamie has Ian, too, and I think that probably helps in the long run, because it's his best friend, so I think it's good. But there we are. We're at the end. It was like the section. I mean, it wasn't really short. It's just all the little everyday details. And then I noticed parts of it that whenever we were watching the first season, I couldn't remember where they drew some of this stuff from, and it's this chapter or this section.
Yeah, the dyeing of the yarn. I was like, hey, this is the first movie, the first show.
Right. So, and then some of the talk about the baby, about having a baby inside you is a little bit. I think that there were some lines of that whenever Jenny is, pacing, walking through her birth. In the first season. So, yeah, it was kind of neat to see that, and it makes me wonder what things from later books they may be pulling from and putting into this coming season, and kind of makes me want to hurry up, because I don't really want to get into a Game of Thrones situation with this, where I find out things that are going to happen later on. Anyway, whatever.
But there is a name in this section that you should keep in mind, people. Aunt Jocasta. Keep that tucked away for yourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I saw that and I was like, oh, because I totally just breezed over it the first time around. And
I had totally forgot about that too. So I was like, Very, very interesting.
Yeah. So, I think I think that we covered everything about that. I mean, yeah, there are lots of little bitty things, but it's good. I could just read this chapter over and over, or this section. It feels like a
Yeah.
chapter.
Going back to, it does feel like a long chapter instead of several. Going back to the birthing kind of area where they were talking about, what you're expecting and then how they're different. And you had to kind of like reconcile your expectations and all that. I thought that was for me, I was like, it kind of got me.
Yeah.
Just thinking about that. I don't know. There was a lot of heartwarming little moments I could identify with.
It's a sweet section. It's nice. It makes me
want more of it. Yes.
Yeah. And I just want them to have a good life. Just something, Okay.
Yeah.
Now, since this is run a little bit short, I wanted to bring up a couple of other things that are completely unrelated to Outlander.
Oh, okay.
If that's okay with you.
Okay.
Okay, sad thing.
Yes.
Yeah, that just came out this morning. Alan Rickman died.
It's not like I stay up with like what celebrity has cancer or illness or anything. So it was like completely
I don't think anybody knew this. Did anybody know this?
I don't know. I saw someone tweeting at the top of the thing of my feed about Alan Rickman and seeing him in something. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I scroll down further. Oh my God.
Yeah. It was like the first thing that I saw when I woke up this morning.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
I am heartbroken.
For me, he's like, I know for a lot of people it's the Snape Harry Potter thing, but the reason I bring it up for this is he's Colonel Brandon in Sense and Sensibility.
Yes.
And he's so good in that. He's good in everything. He's an excellent actor.
Yeah. I haven't even talked to my mom, but she likes him too, so I think from Colonel Brandon. Well, and I liked him back in Robin Hood, so
yeah.
Even though he was a bad person, he was good.
He was one of those people though that could go back and forth, he could be bad and he could be good and just was it's a nice quality. Yeah.
Well, and so with David Bowie earlier this week and now him, I'm like, well, what big celebrity's next? Because it's always this 3 thing.
I know.
So
I know. It's rough. Okay. Happier news. Possibly happier news. Okay. I'm going to run it by you. I tweeted it the other day. I had heard that it was coming a long while back, but I guess now that they have it's like set in stone. We're getting a new Anne of Green Gables miniseries.
Yeah, someone tweeted that yesterday, and I was like, no. I don't know how I feel about that.
I'll tell you.
See it's 8 episodes, so.
Yeah. So if it's just Anne of Green Gables, like just that book, I think that will be great. Because if it gets 8 episodes, then maybe I just want it to be good. The one thing that I see good about this is that it is out of Kevin Sullivan's hands, because maybe this person will do the book a little bit more justice.
Right.
Because now, full disclosure, my first introduction to Anne of Green Gables is it's the films. I didn't read the books first. One of my first memories is seeing Anne and Diana fall into the mud. Because my mom was watching it on PBS, and I was like 2 or 3 years old.
Yeah.
So, anyway, but once you read the books and you see how much stuff, it's just so rich.
Or cut out or different. Yeah. But, they're both good. I love the movies because I obviously grew up with them and wanted to be Anne.
Right. Exactly. Oh,
But yeah, no, rereading that whole series is actually on my list of things to do this year because it's been a
really?
long time since it's been a
Oh,
long time since I've done it. So I think you know what triggered that was our talk. I don't know, it was last episode or the one before that, talking about faith, and I was thinking about Joyce, and I was like, oh,
yeah.
I need to reread these. So
Yeah, I haven't read Anne's House of Dreams since no, that was the thing because I think I really got into those books in like 5th grade and then I just went on a tear and read all of them
mhm.
in 1995, 96. And I haven't read anything past number 3 a second time around. Like, so I've done 1, 2, and 3 several times over because they're my favorites.
Yeah,
But then 4 through 8, and then I was never really engaged in like
like
7 and
Rainbow
8.
Valley and all those.
Yeah.
I've read Rilla a couple of times. I think I've read Rainbow Valley. I know I've read the whole series at least twice, and some
Hmm.
books more than once.
Yeah.
Um, but I can't tell you off the top of my head which ones I read more than once. So I always hated that Wendy Poplars was mixed with Ingleside as in movie two. I was like,
Yeah.
so many. I just had to accept that it's different.
Yeah. I know. Well, and that kind of, yeah, I won't get into it. I won't watch the third film. Like I've watched it a
You've
couple
never
of times.
seen it?
No, I've seen it. I won't do it
Oh,
again. I
okay.
am anti it. Like I will pick it.
I
It
watch it,
makes
but
me
I
so
make sure that it's in a separate zone of everything else. So, and I haven't watched it in years either. So,
yeah.
yeah.
I just get upset when
I
people's only exposure to this series is that, and that they think that that is it. It's not it. Ah, the rest
oh
is so much
yeah.
better. But anyway, so I'm excited. I will watch it with a critical eye, of
Do you think it's
course.
going to be on PBS here, like at the same time it comes out on CBC, or how do you think?
Um, if PBS
Or
has
if they're going to
got
be
to
like
get
Downton
on
Abbey?
this thing. No, because here's the thing. PBS could get a hold of Downton Abbey when they wanted to, if they wanted to. But
Mm,
they're so about restricting it to when their masterpiece series begins. They don't shift
mm,
the series.
mm.
Because they could get a hold of it. I mean, you saw they had Sherlock the day of the same. Well, I don't know if you saw that, but the Christmas special
It's recorded. I still haven't had time to watch it.
we got it the same day that they got it in the
Hmm.
UK, just a few hours later.
Okay.
Um, BBC America airs Doctor Who the same day that they get Doctor Who episodes over there.
Hmm.
So it's doable. It's just about deciding that you're
PBS
going to do it and
politics.
and having the money to do it as well. But
Right.
anyway, I hope that they carry it at the same time because otherwise, well,
I guess my problem, it's going to be so hard for me to like separate out Megan Follows and Jonathan Crombie from, and having
mhm.
new people in those situations. So, and Marilla, I don't know. How can you replace Marilla? Sorry.
I don't know because I love her. I love her, but then I can also see how very different Colleen Dewhurst was so different from book Marilla. I thought, like physically, like
Yeah.
Marilla's like this skinny, like there's some pretty specific details about what she looked like. And that's not a big deal, but no, Colleen Dewhurst is Marilla. She made it.
Hmm.
Um, she's an excellent actress, and it's so sad that she died a long time ago.
Yeah. I mean, I remember being like stunned when I was, when I got the internet and was Googling things, or well, Alta Vista things back then.
Right.
um, and being like, oh, she died like 10 years ago. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
So she's been gone a long time.
Right.
And
No, I
obviously,
don't know. Go
Jonathan
ahead.
Crombie won't be in this at all, or there won't be any
No.
Cameos, I wouldn't suspect.
No, I doubt it. I would be very surprised if there were. It would be that would be kind of nice, but
Although it might be kind of nice to see Sarah Polly in that.
Who could
Maybe
she
I'm just
be?
being crazy.
Let's cast her in this. No, come on, let's do this. Who could she be? How old is she?
She's our age-ish.
No,
she's a year old. She's a year older than me now that I think about it. I think she's 37. Yeah, she's not that old. I think she's born in 78 or 79. So.
Okay. If we're only working from Anne of Green Gables, who could she be?
She could be one of the mothers, the town mothers from, Josie, what's her face's mother.
You know who I'd kind of like to see her be, though? Miss Stacy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I could see that.
Oh, I would love that. Oh, I'm getting like a little bit emotional thinking about that. I don't know. Or what's her name from the second book? That lives off in the woods. My gosh, that is my favorite.
Oh, I know who you're talking about, Miss.
Yeah. Lavender? Is that her name?
Yes,
No?
Lavender. That's right. Yeah, it's okay. Lavender.
Yeah.
That could work too, because
I didn't know if she's old enough for that. I
they can do costuming.
Gosh. That is one of the best little gems in the series that hasn't been touched in film. It's so good. It's magical. It's magical. Yeah. What's his name? The little boy?
I didn't say call Paul, but I'm not sure if that's right.
Yeah, his name's Paul. I don't remember. He's St. Clair. And that isn't it? Is that what his mother wants to call him?
Yes.
His grandmother?
Somebody. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, sorry, I'm getting things all mixed up here, and it's beside the point. But yeah, so good. Yeah, you're gonna have so much fun rereading this. I started a couple years ago, and I got through like book 3, but yeah, that's about as far as I get when I try to go through.
Yeah, I have so much I want to read. I don't know, like after not reading as much, and the fact that I've been reading so much nonfiction, I'm like getting back into fiction again, and I'm just like, I want to read everything.
I know. It's like having a feast in front of you. Oh, all right. So we have that to look forward to, and I'm going to be paying attention to see what happens there. So.
Yeah. Cool.
So excited. This was great. This was not Outlander heavy, but we have some things. We're moving into a section, which, by the way, I need to look at this. Let me open up my chapters. Yeah, I think that we have a couple of sections coming up that are super long.
Ooh, I just found a chapter called "Damn All the Randalls." Chapters. Okay, part 6 is humongous, so we may want to break it up into 2 or 3. It's like, for me, it's, oh my gosh, like almost 300 pages for me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's really long. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, we will because I'll have to sit down and do a little bit of math here and see which is the best place to cut off, or based on what's happening. Yeah, stay tuned. We will cut part 6 into either 2 or 3 sections because it is long.
Cool.
And then part 7 is like nothing. Part 7's the end. So, yeah. This is it. This is the home stretch. Oh my gosh.
And then we're gonna have the show. Yay.
We'll probably be finishing it about in time. So
yeah.
And then I'll be in Scotland. Oh my gosh. I'll be over there while it's airing, so I'm gonna have to find other means.
Yeah.
A kindly local with an Amazon Prime account. I don't know.
Oh my.
All
All
right.
right.
Well, this was fun. We'll chat
Yes.
again next time. Follow us
Sounds
on
good.
Twitter, like us on Facebook, do all that stuff. Thank you so much.
Cool.
I'll
All
talk to you
right.
later, okay?
Bye.
Bye.